we're talking quarterbacks for Nebraska, not only outgoing quarterbacks, possible targets. So it's been quite a week, as you know, over the last week for Nebraska. Casey Thompson winning the transfer portal. We hit on that last week on headlines. Nebraska also lost Richard Torres and Logan Smothers to the portal. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, dreamers. Would a Logan Smothers come back? And, maybe, but I have not heard that. Have you?
Nope. I've not heard anything to suggest that. It would make sense and they could use him. He would make a push challenge, obviously, to be their number 2 guy, but is that what Logan Smothers wants? That's what you have to ask yourself. A lot of competitive athletes don't think like fans and media do. Like, why would I? I mean, I wonder if a guy like Logan Smothers would look at us and say, "Are you serious now? You think I'm just going to come back just to be the number 2 guy? I want to go start." I think a lot of guys are like that. In fact, Sean, I hope Logan Smothers is like that, where we come back and think, okay, that'd be a nice little comfortable thing for the program to have Logan Smothers back as this, maybe this backup plan.
Insurance policy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you got to think about the kid and what he must be thinking. He didn't get to be Logan Smothers by saying, "Oh yeah, I guess I'm okay with number 2. I'll just take it. That's fine."
Well, even like
Sean, I don't think they're like that.
Well, even the debate, like, I'm going to go get a quarterback from the portal to bring to Nebraska. I was at U-Stop on Friday morning today.
Which U-Stop?
27th in Pine Lake. Okay. And actually Tom Stevens, our old friend, his brother runs that U-Stop there. And we had a real spirited debate about, he's like, can't they just go get a quarterback from the portal and bring another guy? And I said, who would want to come here? Like, at this point, when you already know Jeff Sims has a lock on the job.
100%. What was his reply? I mean,
didn't really have a good one. And I said, look, guys that are in the portal, they're either no good, and the ones that have skill, they're in there because they want to go somewhere and have a chance to start.
Right. They want to, yeah.
So is Matt Rule going to take a guy that's not good and waste that spot on him, or a guy that's good enough to come in here to maybe challenge a guy like Sims, which I don't think there is anybody in the portal at this moment.
Well,
there was one that just ended up committing to Auburn.
Yeah.
Clay Thorne, not
Peyton.
Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne, Michigan State, going to Auburn. And that's a whole nother interesting conversation, because start of the week, it felt like Casey Thompson to Auburn was maybe going to happen. Mm-hmm. He visited Auburn. Then Peyton Thorne goes in the portal. It's almost like he jumped the line on Casey Thompson and the powers that be at Auburn and said, this is the guy we want.
Well, Peyton Thorne,
one game.
He has a better resume. I mean, and here's the critical thing, Sean. Peyton Thorne has 2 years of eligibility left. Casey has 1. So he could be a 2. Again, I want to stress, Peyton Thorne could be a 2-year guy at Auburn. Okay. He had a huge year at Michigan State in 2021 when they won the Peach Bowl, and he threw for over 3,000 yards, 27 TDs, and 10 picks. Now, he didn't have a good 2022. The program didn't have a good 2022, but of the 2 guys, Thorne and Casey, Thorne's probably the more
accomplished.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's the guy you'd probably want, and I think you're probably right. It looks like he jumped ahead of Casey. Now, Casey reportedly has 12 offers. The
FAU, Houston.
Yeah, the Omaha World Herald didn't say the names, but they reported that he's going to Florida Atlantic this weekend to check it out. And that maybe Florida Atlantic has the inside track with Tom Herman there. Tom Herman, whom recruited Casey to Texas. Casey committed to Texas in April of 2017. So maybe the pitch is, hey, Casey, let's get it back going again.
Well, then if you went to say FAU, that would tell you NIL is really not a priority, because with what Casey was making at Nebraska at NIL, that would be more salary than most assistant coaches would probably make at FAU.
Okay, now the one way I'd push back on it, you might be right, Sean. But the thing I'd wonder about, the thing I'd ask you is how did they put that basketball team together at FAU without NIL? Did you see that? Happen to see Florida Atlantic, what they did this year?
I mean, those were guys that had been there.
No, not all of them.
But it wasn't NIL. Like,
Oh, come on.
come on.
You don't put that team together without paying those guys, Sean.
Maybe it came over time, but I'm telling you, like they're not flush with NIL money. I've been to FAU. I've been on their facilities. I've been on their campus. They don't have that kind of money just rolling around there.
They don't have to. I mean, all it takes is a couple boosters. I mean, I'm not saying they have a great campus and great facilities, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about paying players.
I think they've updated their football facilities, but
again, I'm not talking about facilities, Sean. There's no way they can put that basketball team together without paying.
I would have I don't know. Like,
it'd be the craziest thing I've ever seen.
There's just not that much NIL that flows at like the non-major level. There's some, but not much.
You might be right. I don't have any evidence.
You need the booster support and the fan support at a high level to pool together millions of dollars.
Okay. You might be right.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a Final Four team.
Yeah, I think they just had a really good team and a good coach.
That seems like, really naive to me, Sean.
I mean, they weren't even seated very high.
They won 30 games.
I know, but how about that? They weren't even seated very high.
Yeah.
What were they? Were they an 8-9?
I think they won 34.
Were they 8-9 seed? Was that their seed?
I think so, yeah.
And they should have been. They probably should have been like a 5.
Yeah, you'd be really hard pressed to convince me that they put together that team and they weren't paying anybody. That would just seem incredible to me.
When Carl Pelini was the coach of FAU, there was like that one outlet like Owl Scoop.
Yeah.
There was there's no one that covers that team hardly out there.
No.
So I don't even know if we could.
Owl Scoop did a good job, by the way.
They were like the only people back there. So I don't even know if we could get those answers.
Yeah, it's interesting, Sean. I hate to have an intense debate about something we don't know, but intuitively, doesn't that talent on that team say to you, oh, I mean, they could have just said, hey, guys, can you just do this for free? I just don't think that's possible right now.
I don't think we're talking big NIL dollars, though. I think we're talking maybe some.
I wouldn't rule that out.